Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for February 22nd through the 28th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to click the link for more information. All right, Sagittarius, so right at the beginning of the week on Monday, we've got a full moon in your 9th house. So this has been an area that's been already cultivating for you. You've had Jupiter in this 9th house. You had a new moon here 6 months ago. So for those of you who have, around that time period, started something new with either philosophy or your spirituality, for some of you maybe travel or adventure, this could be a high point of that. But at the very least for all of you, you've got this awareness now about life. You know, this is that solar energy bouncing off that moon here. And although it's a bit reflective, and you guys are a bit reflective because your ruler Jupiter's retrograde here, and it's good to internalize this, there's still that insight. Right, so it's good to essentially implement these energies during the full moon. So if you have that adventurous spirit, or you have that more philosophical inclination, or you're wanting to understand what life's about, or you have a clear sense of your purpose or whatever, through that inner reflection, then it's great to apply. It's great to move that energy forward this early part of the week. Now this full moon is going to be opposing up to Neptune, really accessing the fact that this full moon is pulling on this opposition. And this is the opposition of the practical. The third house is the conceptual understanding of what's possible in life. The practical implications of, this adventurous spirit, or these open horizons. And they're really one and the same thing. What's really possible in life is real. It is practical. It can be applied, and vice versa. So maybe reflecting on it, it's a very spiritual type of full moon with this opposition up to Neptune, balancing these two areas and really having that faith and trust around the immediate environment. Really accessing. With Neptune here, it's been this importance of you really accessing everything within your immediate environment through that presence. And that gives you that peace. That gives you that faith and trust, which will then directly be proportional to these unfoldments of your life path, which are certainly happening at the moment with your ruler and this full moon in that 9th house. Now over the weekend, the sun will then go over Neptune, spiritualizing it even more. So it's really a week of insight, especially as the sun gets closer to that Neptune. And I think you guys have been more focused on the maybe communications, maybe the everyday stuff, the correspondence, again, those things in your immediate environment. So over the weekend, it's good to kind of have that surrender, that faith, that trust, maybe some rest, relaxation in that sense, but not necessarily. Just anything that helps you connect to that more internalized spiritual aspect of it, spiritual aspect of the mind even. And even in your 3rd house, again, that could be even a practical understanding coming through the non-practical approach, if you know what I mean. It could be through meditation, something could come to you, could be through dreams, whatever it might be. So it's just a good week to really access the concern, the sensitive energy, the emotional, watery aspects, and through that, the information or the messages are being conveyed in that sense. Now, approaching that, there's some more insight, this week. One is that your ruler, Jupiter, is opposing up to Chiron. This is a very important aspect, in fact, especially for you Sagittarians. So the key with this, again, with your ruler retrograde, since November, in particular, with this aspect, there's been healing taking place with you. This is your ruler opposing up to Chiron. So it's all about learning more about yourself. In this early part of the week in particular, really going deep, but it's not in the 8th house sort of sense. It's more about in the philosophical sense. Who are you? What's your life purpose? What's your life path? These kinds of things. And it's through that examination that it's happening in steps and the wisdom is coming. But here, there's a healing taking place. And I think you guys are very much healing not only your identity in terms of your goals and where you're headed, but also just generally your outlook. Your philosophy, your worldview. So the more you are basically open to learning about that, learning more about yourself in that light, the healing just takes place very naturally, and that energy does start to move forward from Tuesday onward. And that could be another day of insight in that sense, and maybe rejuvenation that carries you into the rest of the week. Now here on Wednesday and Thursday, Mercury is going to be sextiling up to Saturn. So on a minor note, this could be some groundedness with the communication with the mind. I think lately you have been thinking perhaps more about the material aspects of life, maybe finances, maybe the material enjoyments like the good meal, the relaxation, these types of matters. So it's a great week for that stuff, and I think it can ground you quite well. In fact, also with relationships, and your career stuff could be quite grounding as well, since Mercury does rule both your 7th and your 10th. Then later in the week, Mercury sextiles up to Uranus, so that could be something new, something exciting, maybe with that material area of your life, maybe with relationships, maybe with your career. So it's good to be open to change and just open to new things around Friday. And then as we go into the weekend, like I said, there's this sort of spiritual insight that's coming through that presence and sensitivity that you have to what really, pulls on those heartstrings, what really pulls on your spiritual side, and accessing that and allowing that to guide you along that life journey. All right, Sagittarius, so have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.